Good.
Hello, everyone. I'm Maheen from WomenAscension. I am the president, and we have Snežana here as our mentor. We are having our first session, and I would like to introduce our platform. I will take a few minutes from Snežana. This platform, WomenAscension, is working towards betterment of the society through outlining and publicizing female issues along with possible solution and how to tackle it by giving time and knowledge. For this purpose, we have webinars, 2 episodes, Empower by Empower, where exceptional women shares experiences and also by contributing knowledge, which would ultimately benefit the society, especially females. We have Snežana Bošković today. Welcome, Snežana. Thank you for your time. Today, she will take session on communication, training, and personal development. Over to you, Snežana.
Okay. Thank you, Maheen, for this introduction. And first of all, I would like to thank you for letting me in, for inviting me to join this platform. And I would like to say that I'm really honored to be a part of this huge story. It is really great work to deal with female issues and to empower women to take more active role in their communities. So I am a little bit nervous because I'm in the position to empower other women, and someone recognized me as the right person to be here. So I just have to say that I would give my best to let's say, in a way, help you, motivate you, inspire you to be more courageous, to, let's say, take more roles in your society and to get to your goals. So for this session, we planned that actually I do kind of introductory. So I would like to present myself to you. Then I would like to say something about my background, my education and my professional experience. And then I would like to share with you what are the topics that you can count on my mentorship, and actually how can I help you and why I am here. Then I would like to know a little bit more about all of you present here today with us, and just to hear your impressions about what you hear today. Okay, and please just feel free to interrupt me. Okay, do you hear me all now? Okay.
Yes, we do.
Great. So just wanted to say again, please feel free to interrupt me whenever you feel like. Maybe I will also have some problem with some words or translation or anything like that. So just don't bother with that. Just interrupt me and I will clarify or repeat or whatever you need. Also, if you have any questions, you don't have to wait for the end of this session, so you can just jump in with the questions or a comment or feeling. I think that would be more natural instead of waiting for the end of my talk. I work in human relations, so I really like to talk, so just have that in mind and interrupt me whenever you want. Great. If you have cameras, I would be happy to see your faces. If you would rather stay without camera, I will appreciate that as well. Okay. So, first of all, I would like to present myself. As Maheen said, my name is Snežana. My surname is Bošković. I'm Serbian and come from Serbia, which is a small country in southeast of Europe. and I'm 45 years old. I will be 45 in a month. Okay, so at the moment I work as head of human resources in one programming company. So we do computer softwares, and at the moment here we have 35 employees. So in my department I have 2 more associates, and we do all HR related activities. For example, recruiting and selection of new candidates, then development of people, training, in-house training, individual conversation, onboarding of new people, and loads of other things. Also, we are organizing events inside and outside the company, gatherings, workshops, and stuff like that. So I would like to go back some 30 years ago and tell you something about myself, about my childhood and how did I grow up and what were my interests. So I would do a kind of reflection, so you would have a more clear picture, how did I get here, and how come that now I talk to you guys. Okay, so I was born in a small village close to Romanian border, and my parents were just an ordinary workers, let's say. They finished the secondary schools, and besides me, they have also one more child. I have a brother, which is 7 years older than me. So we grew up in a small village where we finished elementary school. And I was a kid with loads of interests. So I was quite active and courage, and my parents didn't have to do much things to encourage me to do things. So I would say, like, born like that. But you know, sometimes I say to them, so I would like them maybe more that they encourage me to continue do things, because as every child, I was kind of doing a lot of things, but then I didn't have enough of motivation to continue with something. But never mind. After my elementary school, I entered gymnasium. It is 4-year secondary school, which was in another city. So I was traveling to school every day for 40 kilometers in one way. And it took me 3 years of traveling, and 1 year I was living in that city. It was the period of, let's say, quite bad situation in Serbia, the period of political transitions and let's say power restrictions, and so it was not, let's say, good period for high schoolers. So lots of crises for us. But still, I finished the secondary school, and I was going to the faculty, to the university. I was always a child who was interested in, let's say, humanities and languages, and I was dreaming of traveling the world and becoming an archaeologic and exploring Egyptian pyramids. But then my father said that it was not something that I should do for a living, that I should have some proper job. But I was then saying that, okay, I will study languages. And then again, my father told me that you can study languages whenever you can. So it is not something that you should study. And I wasn't so, let's say, persistent. I tried to study Italian because it was my huge love. But it didn't succeed because there were a very small group of students on Italian. So I came home and I said to my father and my mother that I didn't succeed, but I would like to wait for another, let's say, year. But they told me that I should study something no matter what. So a little bit influenced by my father, I went to Novi Sad, the city where I live today, and entered University of Novi Sad, and I studied pedagogy. Pedagogy is actually the science of education. So in schools, we have pedagogists that are helping students to accommodate better. And those people help also teachers to improve their practice. I finished pedagogy, but actually I have never worked in a school as a pedagogist. But I finished that faculty with not much efforts. It was easy for me, and I loved actually to study that. But after all, my whole career, we can say around 25 years now, it was actually connected with education, training, and development of people. In the beginning, I was very active as a student in civil society. So I was a member of two very big non-governmental organizations, and I was volunteering in HIV and AIDS prevention organization and in drugs prevention. So I was in a group of people that we were actually pioneers of this work. So it was somewhere in late 90s. Okay, 1997, 1998. Then in 1998, there was bombing of Serbia. It was 3 months of quite hard time for all of us, but we become even stronger and more flexible to things like that. So even though we were living in quite developed city, we faced with many problems according to the bombing and the war in neighboring countries. In those years, we also hosted a lot of refugees from Bosnia and Herzegovina and Croatia. Let's say, so safe and easy for young people to study and work. But still, I was quite, let's say, dedicated and committed to what I want. I was always very active, and during my studies, I tried to work whenever I could. I did a lot of, let's say, field work and research. Could help me to earn some money and to contribute to my community. When I finished this faculty, the studies of pedagogy, I moved to another city because I got a job in another city. So it was one Swedish non-governmental organization, and I was there for just 9 months. From a Swedish government and enter another college. So I got actually 2 degrees. I was the one who loved to study, and study was quite easy for me. So I have a master's degree in pedagogy from the University of Novi Sad here in Serbia. And I also have a bachelor degree from the University of Jönköping in Sweden. And I actually studied communication and community youth work. That experience was, I would say, life-changing for me, because I was studying in a small group of people from all over the Balkans, and our studies were partly in Sweden and partly in the rest of Europe. We had a lot of internships, which was quite useful for all of us. So we could see how do things work in practice. So the part of my internship was in Northern Ireland in the United Kingdom. So I was living there for 3 months, working with young people from very deprived area. If you know, for the Northern Ireland and the city of Belfast, that is the, let's say, the country with the history of international conflicts between Catholics and Protestants. So those kids were living there in very, very bad conditions, with parents and cousins who were involved in war, mostly in also in jails and stuff like that. So that internship helped me to gain new skills and to become flexible to new conditions, to adapt to something, to new culture, to work. And yes, I can say that it was really, really life-changing for me. So that helped me to become more courage, to believe more in myself. And I realized that actually only if you get yourself involved in something, if you sometimes, you know, you don't have to know everything, but sometimes you have to be courage to try new things, and then to be open and see what will happen. So I always gained a lot from these experiences. When I came back to Serbia in 2007, I found a job in a governmental organization. Actually, it is a public service called the National Employment Service, and I was there for 5 years. I was working with unemployed people who wanted to start their own businesses. I helped them to make a business plan, to think about their skills and knowledge for starting an own business. So that was also a very new experience for me and quite challenging. That helped me to get practice in working with people. And I worked with all kind of different people, I would say like that. Some people were very demanding, hard. There were young people. There were also people in 50s or 60s who stayed without the job and who were quite unsatisfied with their position at the moment. So it was really challenging for me to adapt my approach to young, to adults, to unemployed, to people who want to work, to people who just say that would like to work, but actually they were not looking for the job. I'm sure you know for those kind of people. So yes, I was there for 5 years. And then because of that job, I moved to another city and then get back to Novi Sad, the city where I studied and the city where I live right now. So I then worked in another public service as a PR, the person for communication and public relation. Then I struggled with the change of management of that organization, because here in Serbia, public services are connected to the politics. So the party which is in charge at the moment also have some places at enterprises, public enterprises. So whenever there is a change of political party, those people have the right to employ whoever they want. So I had a contract which was terminate, and when that management shift happened, my contract just ended and I had to go further. So after that, and in the meantime, I was always working as a kind of autonomous expert or consultant for areas like personal development, leadership, activism, active participation of citizens and young people. So I was doing occasionally different training programs for developing life skills such as communication skills, presentation skills, assertiveness, mindfulness, participation, active citizenship, leadership, and management. So I was, let's say, traveling all around the Balkans and delivering those kind of programs that helped me to meet loads of new people, the young and the adults, that helped me also to adapt my approach and to adapt my skills and expertise. And it was very huge experience also for me. That helped me to know better myself, to realize what I actually would like to do in my life. And that helped me to get here where I am right now. So in the meantime, I was working for European Union delegation in Serbia. So let's say that the European Union has their own representatives in all European countries. So I worked for the European Union delegation in Serbia as an expert, local expert, and I was in a team that established European Union information point in Novi Sad. And I was there for 3.5 years. I was managing a small team of 3 to 4 people. And we were doing different kind of events, conferences in order to promote European Union and their values. But at some point of time, I realized that my job was kind of repetitive and that I was doing all same kind of jobs. And I felt like I can contribute more and do more. I also was thinking, what should be my next step and where should I go next? So I decided to quit that job and to try to look for another one in the business sector. So I sat and I was like, okay, let me think, what is my skill set? What actually can I do? And is there any similar position to my skill sets in the business sector? The IT, information technology industry, was quite developing in our country. So I was looking for a job in programming companies, and I succeeded. Somehow the doors were opening around myself, and I was quite committed to what I want. So I found a job, HR manager in one gaming company. So that was the company that were developing computer games. And I was there for almost a year. It was a company that employed 350 employees, and I was managing HR team of 4 people. But somehow, let's say, I learned so many things there. I also think that I made some mistakes. So that's why I'm also here. I always say that you don't have to make all mistakes that somebody else did. I didn't have much support in my life when saying about other people, mentors. So I learned things in a harder way. We say it here, on my own skin. So that's why I'm here. If I can make your path easier for you, not less challenging, but if I can help you to, let's say, think of something instead and maybe not make so many mistakes, that I'm here for you. So what I've learned from that experience is that when you enter a new organization, you have to be very careful and to spend a lot of time to meet new environment, to meet the people that you work for and that you work with, and then to start to implement the practice that you believe in. So I was kind of a jumping in my work with the will to help and to change things in the beginning, but that's not like that. I mean, first, I learned that you have to make relationship with people, that you have to make the relationship of trust, and then easily and with time trying to implement practice which is useful for the people that you work with. So after that experience in the gaming industry, in the gaming company, I met the management of the company that I temporarily work in. Actually, my friend, she called me once and said to me, hey, I was at the interview for the job at one company, but I cannot accept that because I have something else to work now. But I like the guys very much, so I would like to recommend you if you would like to go there and talk to them. So I said, yes, why not? And I went to the job interview, and there were 2 managing directors and 1 project manager at the interview. So I like them very much. I mean, we talked for 3 hours, which is not a good HR practice, but still they didn't have an HR with them. So they told me what do they want from HR, what kind of HR practice they want to implement in their organization. We talked about the values, the approach and stuff like that, and we agreed that maybe we could be a good match. So I started to work here in March 3 years ago. So it is almost 3.5 years that I'm being here at the position of HR manager, and then I was promoted to the position of head of HR. So what I do as a manager, actually I do everything that my associates also do, because we are kind of small company, and we do together, we do all HR activities. Usually I have young associates with me, so my role is to help them to onboard as better they can, to be support for them, to help them learn things, and that we all together do what is good for all employees. Of course, they are challenging on daily basis, but somehow I also develop myself and grow with all of them. My intention was to be present, to be mindful, to listen, to try to understand. And what I also can say to you, that I learned so many things from men, working with mostly men in this company. I was kind of learning how to be very courage, how to be unscared, how to stand for myself and how to stand for other people. And yes, that is something very interesting that I can transfer to all of you. Okay, so I was talking very much so far. I would just now would like to tell you actually how can you count on me in this mentorship process, and what can you actually expect from me. And then I would like just to hear a little bit about you and what are your expectations of this process. As Mahin introduced me, I am the mentor for communication, training, and personal development. So in my work, I'm doing a lot of training for their presentation skill, assertiveness, so I can help people actually in let's say, become more skilled in these topics. Also, I am doing counseling and this personal development process, leading through this personal development process. So I help people to define their own goals, development goals, and help them to come to the path where they want to. So also I'm kind of a person who maybe can help you to learn about negotiation and constructive transformation of conflict, and how can you get the things that you actually want, being honest with yourself and respecting other people as well. And at the end, I would like to say maybe something personal about me, so you can just have the bigger picture of who I am. Besides, I work here as a head of HR. I'm also a mother. I live with a daughter. She is almost 13, so pretty much a very challenging teenager that I'm facing at the moment, and have many challenges during the day. So yes, but actually, I mean, of course, she's a good kid, but you know, going through very challenging period of her life. Besides my work, I am a yoga instructor and fitness instructor. That is also my love. I also, from time to time, work with people on the nutrition and help them to let's say, change maybe some bad nutrition habits and come to something healthier. And yes, I like to spend my time outdoors and outside. I spend my weekends usually mountaineering, hiking, and climbing, and that's it from myself. Okay. So if you agree, I would like to hear something about you, just a few sentences about who you are and what do you expect from this process of mentorship, and actually what do you expect from myself?
Snežana, we have Neelam. Neelam would like to speak.
Great. Welcome.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Neelam Didar, and I'm also from village. I brought up in Shimshal, Pakistan. Now I have moved to Karachi, which is a metropolitan city. What advice you give me to build and grow myself, as I feel the life is completely different from the previous one.
Okay. Thank you, Neelam. So I am very happy to meet you, and I hope that we will have yes, time to meet ourselves better and to cooperate. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So anyone else that would like to say something?
Hello, this is Rana Riaz.
Hello.
Can you hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Great.
Yeah. So this is Rana Riaz. I'm a senior citizen, and I am in California. So right now it's 6:30 here in the morning. So I cannot show you my face. I'm in bed. So
Okay.
I would definitely would love to have. I mean, counseling. Right now, I'm counseling ladies who need help from me, ladies, women. I try to help them whatever they want to be. I try to help them with the violence from the whatever they are facing through. I mean, whatever I can help them to educate them. I do my ESL classes here. So I definitely would love to help those women who want to come up with some education or anything like that. But all my life I had been an elementary teacher, so I can do something for the women who really want to learn something from me. I parents for their children who don't want their children to get education, because I think that the root level from, especially in Pakistan, to have education right from the root level, because